Joe Beasy, what's good?
Hey, what's up, bro?
Oh man, I'm living a life.
Same here, man. Same here. Figure we're
Yeah.
just waiting for everybody else.
Maybe two. I don't wait long, so I might give like 2 minutes,
Yeah,
and
you
then
already
I.
know how we. Yeah. You know, it's funny. I've been getting back on my weight loss and exercise and everything, right? I've been for the past for most of the past 2 weeks, I've been about anywhere from 2 to 4 miles a day.
Mm,
And I keep seeing, and I don't know why it never occurred to me until just recently, that Chop lives in Maine.
yeah.
And I remember we went over there,
Right.
and I keep wanting to ask him, but it's like I think about as much of it as an excuse as this is, given my weight and everything, these shoes that I got, I don't run because it's, you get to pounding your feet, and after a while you slow down and everything. And I said to myself, I'm gonna wait till I get some better shoes, and then I'm gonna go see if Chop ain't busy, and see if he'll let me say every other curse word but quit.
Right.
I still remember that day, man. I needed that. It's like I've been walking, but my upper body hasn't really been getting a whole lot.
Man, I know you a soldier, man, because I thought you was Chop be doing stuff make me want to tap out, man. But I said, man, Joe hung in there, man. Joe Joe got some heart, man. Whew.
It felt good. I was sitting there. I practiced with those. I have one of those Eskrima sticks, right?
The what?
And those stick fighting sticks. I
Okay.
have one. I have one of those. I'll show you in a second. I have one of those, and there's this exercise you do where you hold the stick out, both hands, but you invert one hand, and you curl it towards you, and you see what it's doing to my shoulders back here and everything, right?
Mm,
And you
mm-hmm.
bring and what it does. The first time I hadn't done it in a while. I did it last Friday for the first time and rolled it back, and something back here popped that had been waiting years.
Mm.
It it
Oh,
it. I had a little bit. I had a little bit more range of motion after it did it, but I was like, "Oh, that was waiting to
so
happen."
it popped in a good way.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Ah.
It's like that because with us at this point, it's a coin toss.
Yeah, no. Usually when it pop, it ain't always good for
No,
me when I hear stuff.
yeah, man, I gotta get this bike working, get the using on that and everything. But yeah, just been watching my health a lot more. In fact,
Yeah,
important.
and that's good. And let me repost this real quick because I think did you see the ID and password? My friend just asked me what the ID and password is, so sometimes I don't know
It's
if I put it up there right.
It's on the let me see, what was I just on? I was just watching the alert I get that says you're live on it.
Right.
So when I go back to Free Thinkers, there's the whole invite for the watch party or what have you.
Okay.
But I think you only have it in the one place. The code where it's like, say for example, on the thing where it says, this week in Free Thinkers, that post that you made, I would put the
Put it in
information
there
there.
right up top. Yeah.
Yeah, I will go ahead and edit that and put that in. Any post you do, go ahead and put it in there because it'll save with us. But remember, you need that code to get in.
Right.
Right. And I see you put it in the comments here, but most people in a
Right.
hurry, they won't think about it. So I would put it in the description, in the caption.
Got you. Okay. Okay. Updated that. All right. Look, I'm about to get into it. So we got a goulash of topics, man, basically. So it'll be a lot of stuff. It's a lot of good topics people post on here that I want to talk about. And I figured it's just easier to talk about it on the page than me rambling on. And I want to get other people's take on. Okay, so I'm gonna start where I left off. So last week we left off with the the post office guy leaving that message for that girl. I don't know what became of him. I didn't hear if he kept his job or what happened.
What happened with that? I didn't hear about that.
You didn't hear about that?
I don't think I was on for that one. I think I
Okay.
came to the Tuesday, but I didn't get a chance to go to the Wednesday. I think
Okay.
that's what it
So
was.
really, No, it was on Tuesday. You probably came on there later.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, girl goes to the post office to drop off some type of package. This guy, he likes I guess he likes her or whatever. He doesn't talk to her right then because he's working. He works at the post office as well.
Yeah.
But he doesn't talk to him. He says his boss is around, whatever. But he gets her address and sends her a note later on, saying, "Hey, don't think I'm a creep or anything, but I just think you're beautiful, and I wanted to see if I could take you out sometime or something like that." So I wanted to speak to you then, but my bosses was around. I couldn't do anything. But like I said, if it's not asking too much, I'd like to take you out or something.
Yeah.
So the girl posted on social media, and it's like, yo, this guy kind of creeped me out a little bit. Just sending it. He sent it to her address. So the note
Yeah.
came to her address. So you got a lot of posts saying, hey, a lot of in the comment sections, a lot of people were saying, hey, he was just trying to, show his love and show his affection. And he was just
Shoot the
trying to make
shot.
a love because, yeah, he was shooting his shot, trying to make a connection. Why you put him on blast like that? He probably going to lose his job now. You just spreading that all over social media. You could have handled it a different way. So that was the conversation that we had, talking about that.
Right.
So um, it was a
Well,
big idea. Like, yo, you shouldn't have used your job to grab her address, and so that
It's
was the argument.
it's perception is reality, it's optics. My thing is in this day and age to where, and I won't say it's as if it's something new, just just women have to be careful. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And first and foremost, I'm gonna say that a lot of these rom-coms done got us in a lot of shit.
What is
Because
rom-coms?
well, most damn near all of them will have some kind of weird, quirky situation where it seems cute, but in reality, if that stuff had happened, like if that stuff, what you just described, happened in a rom com or something like that, oh, he wanted to send a message to her heart, coming soon on Fox. You know what I'm saying? The
Right,
romantic
right,
tale
right.
person.
And that was my argument. Yeah,
So it's like
it was
we
a weak
over
argument I
romanticize.
had, but it was
There's a big problem with with romanticizing things. And
right.
what happened is that she was, regardless of his intentions, because she doesn't know him, she doesn't know his intentions, she got somebody. What that said to her is, somebody has access to me without my permission. Someone is watching me without my permission. Someone has got a message to me without my consent. I'm putting this on social media now because how many women disappear and nobody knows what happens to them? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like and don't get me wrong, that may seem dramatic, but if something had happened to her, if this dude wasn't as nice as he was, if something had happened to her, people would have been wondering. Nobody would have suspected the message that she got in the mail from this male dude who apparently meant well. So she needed it out there on public record, which I completely understand. Maybe he felt drugged. Maybe a lot of other people felt he got drugged too. But at the same time, you don't do that. If you see her again, then step to her up front, say something,
Right.
but don't get her information. With you work for the postal service. You have access to a lot of stuff. So don't use that information to get in touch with her without her consent. So
I agree.
yeah, he was in the wrong. I mean, as cute as he tried to be, he was in the wrong. Hey, a lot of times, and I think we do it as dudes more than anything, we assume that because we have good intentions, that it's okay for us to do what we want. I was just playing. I was just saying. I was just saying hello. I just wanted to, put this out there. Instead of thinking to yourself, when you say just, you're really justifying. You know what you was doing. You ain't got a lot to kick it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got a lot of kick it. Go be for real. You know what you was trying to get in, and instead of stepping to her, because at least she can see you coming. She has a choice. It's not just about giving a woman a choice. It's about giving a person a choice.
Right. I can't say. So, Tierra, we were just recapping a little bit on last week. Did you hear anything back? Did the guy get fired? Did you hear anything else back from that?
I honestly haven't been following it, so I don't know. I would assume if it's on social media at this point, he probably was terminated or let go. But I'm not, like I said, I haven't been following it, so I can't say for sure.
Yeah.
I would guess that everybody gets fired for everything now, but that's especially and that's crazy because you talking about a government job. You can't mess around with that. They will throw you in jail. It's no joke.
Let me tell you, my little sister, my little sister, she's a year younger than me, so she's like a little sister by this much. But her and this boy she had a crush on, in elementary school, they went hanging out together, and on the way home from school, they were taking people's mail out, reading the mail that they liked, and just throwing it all over the place. The cops found out. Feds came to our door. My aunt Joni, God rest her soul, my heart, the reason I love Torians, period, point blank. Don't nothing fade my aunt Jody, but when them feds came to that door, my sister is named after my aunt. So the feds came and they was like, we need to speak to Vivian Joanne Brundage. And she looked at my aunt, and my aunt was like, Joyce, it wasn't me. I swear to God, I swear to God. But they took my sister, they had a conversation with her, and now my sister is on record with the feds for mail tampering.
Yes.
And they don't play. And maybe they won't kick down her door 20 years from now and take her to the thing. Maybe she won't see Leavenworth or wherever you go for really fed shit. But at the same time,
you
little
don't
girl,
notice.
you know what I'm saying? Little girl.
They don't,
you know,
they don't play with that because even my side hustle is real estate. And some of the marketing, a lot of people want to just put, instead of not door knocking, they rather just, throw something in their mail. You can't do that's a no. You have to buy the list for that area and have the postmaster send that out. You can't just be slipping. You're not supposed to put marketing into their mailbox. That's a no. And you will get charged. I was like, ooh. Stuff I didn't know, but hey.
And they ain't gonna forget. They ain't gonna forget. Gotcha. I told my sister to this day, I said, let Grandma Jenkins find out she didn't get her Fingerhut catalog. You going to jail. So you going to jail. Go to jail right now.
All right. So what we doing today? We running up the thread. We had a lot of very interesting posts over the week, and we're gonna touch on some different stuff. So we're gonna hit it and quit it and move to the next one, see what you think. And I'm gonna start back 6 days ago, and y'all give me some input on this. All right, so let me look at this. Ivory Adams shared a post, and you can get on Free Thinkers and you can kind of look over some of these posts as well if you need to visually see it in order for it to make sense to you. Also, share the page if you're not scared of people hearing your voice or knowing what you think about stuff. Go ahead, share the page as well. So, okay, this is the first one. Y'all ready? Quotations. This is the problem women have in dating. You got to get him to love you first before you give him some. If you don't do that, he will lust after you and never really love you. That's a quote from Dr. Dana Carson. Who want to jump on that first? Agree, disagree? You want to modify that statement? You need me to read it again? Tell me what you think.
I'll go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you good. My thing first thing, the reason love is war is because it's not supposed to be one. Secondly, there's a saying.
Hold on. Back up off that. What you mean by that again? The reason love is war is because it's not supposed to be one.
It's not supposed to be one. It's not supposed to be a fight. It's not supposed to be our strategy on how you're going to get a man, or how you're going to keep a girl, or how you're going to do this or do that. I think we put too much in the strategizing how to get someone.
Okay.
It's you hear all stories, you hear old heads talk about stuff, you hear wives' tales. If you do this, he'll do that. If you do this, she gonna do that. And none of that's about that person. It's just about keeping your bed warm, and that's not it. There's a saying, and this goes either way. If I give you too much of my hand, you will never want my heart. You know what I'm saying? If I do too much for you, then you won't see that. People say that, and I used to really believe that. I used to really think that was true. But my thing is, if you don't establish boundaries. You know what I'm saying? If you don't communicate, period, that's really what it comes down to. Communicating what you do and don't want on both sides. It don't matter if you're attracted to someone and you think that, like that romanticism in the movies, you'd be like, I knew she was the one. No, you don't. You haven't talked to her, and you don't know if she's the one because she hasn't had a chance to decide if you're the one, and vice versa.
So
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all gotta work though.
If both of y'all gotta know, both
Right.
of y'all,
Because if
both
one of
y'all
you
gotta,
know and the other one don't, then that's stalkerish. That turns to something else. Tierra, jump in. What you think about that post? You need me to read it again?
I think it depends on the individuals, right? You know, there's been people that have engaged in sexual activity and have lived a healthy, normal relationship, marriage, no problems. There's some that withheld, and when they finally do, give in, the man is out. So I don't think it's necessarily one thing or the other. I think you got to really understand people's love language first, and then also understand where they're at in love. Like,
right.
you know what I mean? Like, what I'm
Sex
saying
love
is,
language,
yeah. Well, my thing is, because we don't like, there's
physical
some people
touch.
that just got out of, some people just got out of relationships. Some don't want to be in a relationship. Some don't want to be married. You got to have those conversations and understand that's who that person is and know how to deal with them. And I think that may come in a part of getting to know somebody, but at the same time, I think it both ways. So I don't think it's personally one way or the other.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go to Nikki and then quick. I'm gonna ask you this. Just quick answer, Tierra. The percentage of how true you think this statement is. If you could give it a percentage, what would you say?
Maybe 60-40.
60-40. Joe, percentage. If you could give it one, what would you give it?
Okay, so say it one more time. Say this phrase one more time.
This is the problem women have in dating. You got to get him to love you first before you give him some. If you don't do that, he will lust after you and never really love you.
I'll say 60-40.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna not be an idealist on this one, and I'm gonna say 60-40.
Nikki, what you think about that, Nikki?
Oh, I want to say my first response is 50-50. Like, I want to say my first initial response is a 50-50 situation, because you never know where somebody else is coming from. But it's like Tierra said, there's so many ways you can go about this. Some people have hooked up first night, shit turned out great. People have waited for months and months and months and thought that they spent a little bit of time getting to know somebody.
And then it's trash and all of it go down the drain.
It isn't even trash. They're trash. So I think you have to remember too, dating from a woman's perspective is also very different than dating from a male's perspective. And if you genuinely do understand the difference between men and women and dating and just the hunter versus the gatherer and all these things, I think that women, and maybe it's society, has kind of forced us to be very mindful with respect to our body count. So we can't just go running around throwing our body all over the place to see if this dude might work or this dude might work or this dude, or whatever your preference is, if this person is going to work. Like, I disagree, because you could do everything right. If nothing you could do is going to make a person be faithful. Nothing you could do is going to make a person love you. Nothing you could do is going to make the person want to be committed to you. If that ain't what they got in them for you, you're not going to get it.
Let me follow up this with you, Nikki. Let me follow up. Body count aside, forget about body count. How important is it to know from a sexual standpoint how compatible you are up front before you kind of lend yourself to all of the other things? Because if it's like, okay, you know what? Sometimes it could be good, it could be bad, but it's not bad because it just ain't there. No pun intended. It's bad because We just got to work it's kinks. We got to get our chemistry, our dance. We got to get that in order. The lights, dislikes, and all of that. But sometimes if it ain't there, then it just ain't there. And once you know that, then it's like there's no amount of romance that he could give me that's ever going to change that. It will never be good under these circumstances. So we got to move around. That's a loaded.
I think it also kind of can speak for your intent because as a lover, I think that you can be taught how to be a lover in some aspects. You can be taught how to improve your lovemaking skills, your floor.
She froze up on me. Can y'all hear?
No, I can't hear.
Okay. You froze up some, Nikki. I don't know if you can still hear me.
Hear me?
You froze up a little. You still, I don't know. You still kind of choppy. I can't really hear you yet if you're talking. Let me jump to. Shoot, I can't get you yet. I don't know. It might be the connection. It's like you almost there, and I want to wait for you to get. All right, so let me jump to Denise real quick, and then I'm gonna come back to you, Nikki.
Right.
Denise, do you know what we're talking about? Did you catch the first part of the question that we were asking?
No and yes, sort of. I think we went back to the post office guy, right?
Okay, no, we passed that. That was just recapping. All right, so I'm about to give you I'm about to read a quote, and this is from the Free Thinkers page. This is what Ivory, and you actually commented on it as well, I can see. So it'll ring a bell to you. Okay, so the quote is, "This is the problem women have in dating. You got to get him to love you first before you give him some. If you don't do that, he will lust after you and never really love you." You agree, disagree? Would you like to modify that statement to make it more true? Give me your thoughts.
Okay, so there's a couple of things I want to hit, but I personally am not, I don't think I'm personally aware of situations where there wasn't at least a really deep connection before sex that worked out. So I think that sometimes people.
So the sex enhanced the connection?
I think it can when there's two mature adults. I think, and two like adults that actually want to move forward, because you can be mature, but if that just wasn't what you were trying to do in the first place, it doesn't matter. If your goals are not aligned with the relationship, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Got you. Let me ask the question. Now I'm gonna get to Nate, but let me ask you something real. And I'm asking everybody this: if you've had this experience, you ever kind of feel somebody like you kind of feeling them, enjoying them a little bit, and then you kiss them, and then you realize that you're not compatible? Like, oh shoot, this ain't gonna work because the kiss there was no magic there whatsoever.
Yeah. And it's not about my internet is going out.
I can hear you.
Okay. It's not about their technique as a kisser. You know what I'm saying? It's not about that. It's I think it goes to intent, you know? Like there was a woman I was good friends with. When we met, we went on a couple of dates before we eventually kissed. And when we did, it felt forced, you know? Like, it's 2 dates in, we might as well. That was the vibe we had for it. So once we kissed, it just signed or anything like that. There was no, oh, I can't wait to see you again. That feeling wasn't there. So we just became friends from there. You know, and it wasn't about her looks because she ain't hard on the eyes at all. It just was not. It just was not a connection.
I got you. All right, Nate, did you hear the statement, sir?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna read the statement. You tell me if you agree, disagree, or you just want to modify it because there's partial truth to it. This is the statement. Quotations. This is the problem women have in dating. You got to get to love. You got to get him to love you first before you give him some. If you don't, he will lust after you and never really love you. Agree, disagree, modify. What do you think?
Jeez, that's a tough one right there. That's one of them situational things. That's way too blankety for modern society. I disagree. I
Okay.
will say I disagree with the statement and all, because I think within like relationships, it's more of like a feeling thing that really can't be personified because it is a feeling. It's like, you know when something feels right, and you know when something doesn't feel right, and those initial instincts that you feel that sometimes we look past or whatever, it's like, no, the signs were all there, you just ignored them, you know. And I don't know how personal we can get right now, but there was something you
You get
told me.
personal as you want to.
Well, it's kind of about
Think
you,
freely.
and it was something that you had told me a long time ago.
Don't bother me at all. Go
Okay.
ahead.
And you were telling me, I was asking you about being married, and this was before I was married and when you were married, and you said, I will never get to feel what it feels like to like fall in love again. Not necessarily fall in love again, but the courtship. And some people are infatuated with a courtship.
That is correct.
You know, they're infatuated with the newness of
Halo.
something. It's just like a
Yes.
car, you know. And as soon as that new car smell wears off, or that new relationship smell wears off, you're on to it. So that's why I said it's so situational when it comes down to that, because it's just like, new sex is new sex. It is what it is, you know. But it's not, oh, I gave him time and then he broke out on me. Maybe you have some courtship issues that you need to learn how to have a relationship as opposed to just a courtship, because you probably were in love with the newness of it, not necessarily the sex. And you might have self-sabotaged it anyway because it was getting old to you anyway, you know. But you don't want to take blame for it because you don't want to look stupid and you don't want to come across as crazy. So it's one of those, like I said, kind of self-sabotage thing, but it does kind of, it's situational. But I was just kind of playing the devil's advocate from looking at it from a woman's eyes, because every woman is not like that. So there's some woman's like, yeah, I don't do that. I did it several times and it didn't work out for me. But there's just a different way to look at it from, I guess, a woman's perspective or a man's perspective towards a woman. So
right, I like it. Before we jump to something else, anybody want to add anything before we move along?
I want to say self-sabotage is definitely, we could get into a whole discussion about self-sabotage.
Absolutely. It's real on so many aspects.
Okay, is that just my thing messing up?
I
I can hear you, but your video is frozen. That's what I see. It looks like your video is frozen.
Okay, I was like, is it my thing messing up?
Oh, was it? Were we ignoring you?
No, it was frozen. It was
okay.
Everybody's frozen.
Okay, got you. Anything else to add before we move on to this? Before we move on past this? Okay, we're gonna keep rocking. I'm moving up the thread right now. Speaking of, Tierra Talks on Thursday. Check it out. I really would want to touch on this, but there's no way we can quickly touch on. She talked about, go check out the video on there. You can look on her page. You can look on Free Thinkers. Talked about the plight of the angry Black woman, or the stereotypes about it. So it was a very good conversation. And I just don't know how I could touch on it without it being an hour-long conversation. So I'm just going to tell you to check it out. Make sure you check her out on Thursdays. You know what your topic is coming up this Thursday?
Oh yeah. So
Okay.
It's going to be virtual education over in-person, in-class education. What does that mean? Is education even benefiting our kids? Are they really missing out by being in person? What do they gain in the American school system? Or is it better that these kids are being self-taught, or learning at home, where they can get more value in other things as opposed to just the traditional education? So
okay, I got it. Sounds like it's gonna be very educational. I'm gonna sit back and kind of, I'm gonna be there. I'm probably just gonna shut up and listen, because I know that's probably in my head.
I might talk my wife into getting in on that one. She's an educator, so
yes, because my mother's an educator, and
okay.
she works with special needs kids. So how do you teach special needs kids from remote learning? And then why, then you're putting, if they go back into person, in class, schooling, you're putting those teachers at risk, those bus drivers, those administrators, the janitor, and so it's like, how do you find a middle ground? What does that look like? Because, I get it with these parents got to go to work. They don't have babysitters. But at the same time, these educators, they shouldn't be on the front lines either. So we'll talk about that.
That's what's up. Tier Talks on Thursday starts at 8:00, correct?
8:00 Central Time, correct.
Central Time, yes. Thank you. Okay. All right, we're gonna keep moving. And okay, we got another post 4 days ago. Kevin posted. I didn't go into it, but this is the headline of the post, and I will get your opinion about this. 90% of men are faithful until they feel unappreciated. What's that? Okay, hold on. Let me. Are we laughing about the statement, or are we laughing about the percentage?
I'm laughing at your laugh.
I'm laughing about the statement.
Do we need to change the percentage? Can we just change the percentage, or is it just the statement is off?
I had to fight the chuckle when you said faithful. I had to. And that's not indicative. That's not indicative of me, because my thing is once I'm chose, you can set your watch by me. But that's neither here nor there. But I will tell you, as soon as you said 90% of men, and I was like, what, have brown eyes? What are you talking about? Breathe oxygen? What are we doing? I disagree with that 90%. And 90%.
Okay, hold on, Joe. Is it the statement or the percentage? Let me know. Statement or the percentage?
90% of men are faithful. They just cheat because they're not getting it. They're not getting attention. I disagree with the percentage, and I disagree with the rationale.
Okay.
I disagree with the rationale very much so. Because
Kevin, come jump on when you get a chance, man. Denise, I seen you jump on. What saith you?
To be honest, I'm an advocate for men, specifically Black men, because I have two older brothers. They don't cheat. They're not those type of men. So when people say, "Oh, Black men ain't shit," like they don't act like they're not those type of men. Okay.
Okay.
Now, with that being said, just to let you know, I do have a bias. So with that being said, honestly, I think that most people, when they're cheating, it does have something to do with some sort of lack of appreciation of some sort. I do feel like that, not just for men. I feel like that's the case for women as well, because women do cheat, and women cheat a lot. So nobody wants to say it, but I'm here to tell you the truth. But I do think it has something to do with some sort of lack of appreciation. And after you constantly telling someone something, I think it kind of goes back to what Nate was saying about this self-sabotage. I think a lot of when people are cheating, but they don't actually want to leave the relationship, they're cheating because it's like an outcry for like help. If it's not some sort of like childhood trauma where I don't know if y'all recently listened to the Joe Budden podcast, and they were talking about the DMX and Snoop Dogg challenge, which I didn't get to watch the verses, but where
I watched it, but I didn't hear the Joe Budden feedback on it.
What they said, I didn't watch the verses, but what they were saying is that DMX not lost his virginity. DMX was essentially raped by a 26-year-old woman when he was 13. People want to say lost his virginity, but that's not losing your virginity. That is being taken advantage of, right? And so I'm saying all that to say this: unless it was some sort of childhood trauma of some sort, I think most people do cheat because it's some sort of like cry for help and cry for attention and cry for like, hey, I'm trying to speak to you. I'm trying to get your attention. I'm trying to let you know I'm not happy. I'm trying to let you know I need more, but you're not giving it to me. And it may be immature, but sometimes that's the last resort that people have. I think. I don't know.
I'll follow that by saying that, for one thing, I don't really think the numbers can be quantified. I don't think you can say 90%, 50%, 3.5%, 4 and 5 quarters. You can't say that. I can say that the motivations themselves are too much of a spectrum to just put it on attention. That's one of them. But there have been times where a man or a woman is in a relationship and that partner is giving them everything. And what'll happen is that person who is given everything will still get out there and get something, not because that person, their partner isn't satisfying them. It's because they had a hole in them before they got partnered up. There was a deficiency already there, and you have to fill that need with going after this and going. What's to say? Like I come from, like I said, like in my family, most of the men in my family are cheaters. I'm going to put that out there. But I say all that to say that whatever is in them that makes them do that, because I know each of them, it doesn't stem from, oh, I didn't have, you're not giving me this. It stems from, sometimes it'll stem from a deficiency. The deficiency will come from something, an experience they had when they were younger or something, or maybe something that was passed on to them. What do some of the old heads say? Some of the old heads say, only thing better than 1 steak dinner is 2 steak dinners. You know what I'm saying? They'll pass that
you
around.
just steak shrimp. You gonna have steak and then you want shrimp, and you don't want 2 steak dinners. Get that lobster along with it.
Which is why I find it hilarious. Which is why I find it hilarious that we sit there, like me, I'm not a polygamist, but I find it hilarious that we'll point a finger at concepts like, not concepts, at lifestyles like polygamy, when truth be told, that was already a thing in the hood. Everybody had an auntie or an uncle, quote unquote, you know what I'm saying? And when it came out, the spouses that got cheated on weren't so much mad about the fact that they got cheated on as they were that it got out there. Why they know our business up the street? Bring your dumb, you know what I'm saying? Bring your dumb ass home. You're going to do that. But at least, and how many times do you hear it rationalized? Well, at least he paid the bills. He take care of us. She just needed that. And I just had to let her get out there. And, we love each other. No matter what she give them, she loved me. Okay, whatever helps you sleep, sweetie. But my thing, and that comes down to, even that can come down to what you agree to, because you can have it like, okay, we have an agreement. She can go out there. She can do this. I can go out there and do it if I want to or whatever, because I've seen that before. It's communication. It's about what you agree to. But if you know for a fact that we're going to stay true to each other, we're going to stay faithful to each other, we're only going to have sex with each other.
Okay, still, but even that's still that doesn't fall under the same category as faith, because faithful comes with communication. You can be with multiple people, but as long as you're communicating it, then that's still, you're faithful to whatever you agree upon.
Exactly. That's what it is. That summarizes what I'm going to say. What are we faithful to?
Right. Tiara, Nate, jump in. What you think about it?
Let Tiara go first.
Oh yeah, she had the hard hearty laugh from a good place down in the stomach. She laughed about it.
The knuckles cracked.
The post, I think the post is wrong, and that by saying the post is wrong, the percentage is wrong. Like, okay, it's kind of disqualifying both.
Could you change the percentage and make it more truthful, or you would have to just do it?
Well, you can say, if you was to survey 100 people, of course you're going to find some people that say, I cheated because of lack of attention or lack of this or lack of that. But then there's so many reasons why people cheat. Access, convenience, pressure, dominance, conqueror, complex. So you can't say, like, this is, I wouldn't give it 90%. I just would say it happens. I just don't think it to that degree.
Right. Okay. And okay, Nate, I'm gonna ask you the same thing, but I'm gonna throw a little question in along with that.
All right.
Is there, you can answer my question and then go back to the original assessment of the statement. Is there a majority reason as to why men are unfaithful? Is there one reason that takes up the bulk percentage of why a man is unfaithful? You can answer that and then go back to the, what.
No, men, what I will say is 90% of men that do cheat don't know why they cheat. And 90% of women don't know why they cheat. They might nail it down to something because, once again,
Like that.
we don't want to look crazy. But most people don't know because it's so deep inside you why you can't be with one person for whatever reason. I mean, it could stem back to something from your childhood that you don't even realize is there. You know, and until you like really do like a deep dive on yourself, which a lot of people don't, because that requires you to be honest with yourself, which a lot of us don't want to do. You know, you're not going to find the answer. So when it comes down to that, it's just like, yeah, most people don't even know why they do it. They can't even, they can give you a reason why. Oh, I like to conquer. Oh, my uncle had a lot of women. My dad was like, it's like, it's
Right.
way deeper than that, you know, because just because your dad had guns or whatever doesn't mean necessarily make you a gun lover. You know, it's like, so it's, I think it's way deep inside of people that, you know, for the reasons why they do cheat, but I don't think they truly can put it in context as to why they do what they do. It's just one of those things. And I mean, and like I said, 90%, there are 10% of people that like, no, I went and talked to a shrink and, you know, worked through this to find out what my issue was. And this was this, and this was this, and this, and this. And they just like,
Right.
that's my problem. But I guarantee you, it's not a surface issue.
Nikki,
No,
did you hear what the question was, Nikki?
I did not hear the question. No.
All right, don't laugh again, Tia. Okay. So it's a statement. It's a statement on Free Thinkers again. Kevin posted a statement. Says 90% of men are faithful until they feel unappreciated.
So you're asking if I agree with the 90%?
Agree. Okay. Do you agree with the percentage? Could you make this statement true by changing the percentage, or is just the statement itself fundamentally incorrect?
I think that people in general probably start to seek something else when they're not appreciated. It's just a matter of whether or not that's how you get down or not. You know, some people I think don't have the capacity to, I don't know. I don't know why people cheat. I'm not a cheater. I don't subscribe to the ideology that I have to have multiple people to make me happy. That doesn't mean that one person has to fulfill every single obligation of a relationship, but I don't seek outside of my partner for somebody else for that appreciation, that gratification, that satisfaction, that value. So I don't know, honestly. I think that question really has to be asked by somebody who is either okay with stepping out of their relationship, who has experience with being unfaithful to somebody, because I think that I don't think that everybody who cheats does it with intention to hurt somebody. I think that obviously some do, but I think that some, because of that appreciation factor, if you're lonely, alone, neglected, you know, and again, this is everybody's gauge of how they feel about those particular feelings. But I think that generally people do start looking for that validation elsewhere if you're in a relationship and you're not fucking appreciated.
And that's I'm going to reword this question. Let's get the faithful element out of it. Let's get the 90% of it. Let's zero in on a certain word. I'm going to make a statement and I want you to fill in the blank. I'm trying to word it right. Feeling unappreciated makes me blank in a relationship.
Feel unvalued in a relationship. And that's a crummy feeling to have. So if you're okay with being vulnerable and if you're okay with being able to have a conversation, then you have that exact conversation with your partner. But if you're in a relationship where you're emotionally not vulnerable, where you're physically not vulnerable, or you don't feel emotionally or physically safe to have that conversation, one, obviously you're in the wrong relationship, but two, those are generally where people start to create these, like you and I talked about a long time ago, work husbands, work wives, these people who are now filling these emotional voids that my partner's not doing. And it typically turns into, you know, somebody aside.
Let me rephrase this question again, because I like what you said, but I want to drive the original point. Feeling unappreciated in a relationship causes me to blank?
Shit, leave, motherfucker. I mean, goddamn, if I'd have told you how I feel and it ain't changing, I'm leaving. But it causes one to feel not valued. I don't know if you're looking for an action word.
Yes, I am. Just like it, as he stated, it causes a person to be faithful or unfaithful.
It causes me to communicate.
What could it cause you to do?
To communicate.
Okay.
And if that communication is still a fail, then I'm leaving. Period.
Okay.
There's no time for no bullshit. We're too old. It's too much.
Okay. What else? Keep going. Keep going. What else? Somebody else causes you to what?
Reassess.
Yeah.
That was gonna be one of mine. Reassess, reflect.
Reflect. Okay.
I've learned the hard way. I've learned the hard way that these two have to be co-pilots. You can't. Neither one can run the show by themselves. It's trouble. It's trouble. I don't know. I don't know if it's a Gemini thing. I don't care if it's a Joe thing. It's a thing. These two have to work together, or else it's going to be a problem. Because if this thing doesn't get attention, this thing starts saying, okay, so if we're not on the level of lovers that I feel adequate, I need to communicate that with you. And if the problem isn't fixed, regardless of where it's coming from or what it is or what needs to be done, if the problem needs to be fixed, if this suffers, this is like, why am I here? And then I'll just check. I have a habit of checking out. This period, point blank, because I just assume that you're not going to do any better than you're doing. I assume that you have no interest in fixing the problem, and this needs to step in and say, okay, we need to talk. I don't know what's going on with you. I don't know what you're seeing in me, but we're not here together, and we need to talk about what that means from here on out. Can we fix
Let me
this?
ask a question. Does feeling unappreciated cause another person to flirt, even if it doesn't cause them to be unfaithful? Does it cause people to flirt?
Sure.
Sometimes, yeah, but you can. I know people who can flirt and still, and their spouse can still set their watch by them. You ain't getting in. Then again, I've like I said, I've never cheated, but I have been a cleanup man when I was in my 20s, and I can tell you that if you show a woman, and I'd like to assume that it's the same the other way around. If you see somebody with a deficiency, period, even if you don't hunt them down, they're going to communicate with you. And if they're not getting it at home, they may not mean to, but that deficit will cause them to engage with other people, sometimes a person in specific, in a way that you probably shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Suddenly, me and my coworker are going out to lunch, and we don't normally do that. You know what I'm saying? And she's not answering the phone when her husband calls or whatever. Suddenly, my coworker has a problem with me talking to this girl over in this section. And clearly, we're not an item or whatever. Suddenly, my coworker wants to come over and visit me at my house because she doesn't know where her husband is. And there's nothing, if you haven't communicated with your spouse, if you haven't told your spouse that you have a problem, you have a need, and we need to talk this out, there is nothing you can say to justify your actions if you do not discuss stuff with them first.
See, now that can go another direction.
There is nothing, and like I said, a lot of these movies and songs get us in trouble, man. They're fun to watch. A lot of these movies and love songs, they're fun to watch and everything.
That can go another. And a lot of times, that's where, in theory, I agree with you, Joe, but at the same time, every person's significant other or partner is not receptive of certain things.
Well, that's
it's not
the thing.
Always
but I mean before that. Like, say for example, let's say it, like, I'm single now, but if I was in a relationship, right, and I feel like she's not giving me attention, whoever she's gonna be, I feel like she's not answering the phone when I call her when I'm at work. We sitting together on the couch. She wants to move a space away from me when we used to hug all the damn time. The middle of the bed is cold, stuff like that. She ain't giving me no attention. I don't know what's wrong with her. She's not talking to me. She's not telling me whether or not it's my fault or something she's dealing with or whatever. But either way, as a result of what she's doing, I'm upset. But suddenly, Tasha is sitting about 2 or 3 desks down from me. She been watching that whole process. She been watching that, and she been had her eye on me. And it may not even be that she thinks I'm the bee's knees. It may just be the fact that she knows I'm married and wants something that should not be had. It's human nature. So if I don't, if I go and do something with her without saying word one, without communicating that we have a problem with my lady, you know what I'm saying? You know, past that, I can, when it happens, I can apologize, but there's still nothing I can do to justify it if I didn't communicate. I agree with you. If the communication didn't go well, then, you know, that's a little bit different. That's a gray area. But if I haven't said word one, and then and she may not even know that I have a problem. She may not even know that I'm upset because I haven't said anything. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, hold on a second. Okay, I was waiting on you. I didn't know if you was done eating, Denise.
Y'all, I'm so hungry. My Thai food came in. I guess I was gonna chime in. There's like two things I wanted to say, but I wanted to kind of tap on what Joe was saying, which is like, I don't think if you've communicated or not, I don't think it could ever really be justified if that was not the agreement in the relationship.
True.
Okay. But on the other hand, I see what you're saying. Like, if I keep coming to you, and I'm trying to make you understand where I'm coming from and what my needs are, and you refuse to like make those changes, then that's one thing. However, I will say this: in relationships, we have often already had a problem with this thing this person has been doing, but now it's just like we just now reached our wits end with it, and then that's when they're notified, and then they have like this much of a grace period to get it together, and it's not fair. Because at the end of the day, if a person has been doing this type of behavior for however long, this is a habit at this point, and they need time to actually change it. They might not even be aware that this is something that they do. So now you have called something to their attention. They have to become aware of what that thing is and really take that in, and then they have to know what to do to change it. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's...
Okay, hold on. I was up with you for the most part, Denise, but then it's certain things like if I'm going off of what Joe described, and jump in on this, Nate. Tell me what you. I don't know if I want to edit here. Nate, jump in on this, and then I'm talking to you. When you get in the when your bed get real cold and the conversations get real short, is that just something that people don't notice that they're doing? But I feel like that's usually pretty intentional when someone is given a cold shoulder. It's usually for a reason or to prove some type of point. Jump in on it.
I'm very intentional with my cold shoulders, and but the one thing, like whenever I do necessarily see a problem within my relationship, is instead of looking at the person, I look within myself. Like, am I firing on all cylinders? Am I doing what I'm supposed to do? Am I taking care of my business? Are my actions causing a reaction, which is making me take it a particular way? So the first thing I want to do is look at myself first and make sure that I'm on point. Because I think we fail to realize that this is like, make sure you got your ducks in a row. You know, like, don't come to the landlord telling them something broken, you ain't paid your rent on time. You know, it's just like that part. So but from and the reason why I do look within myself is, like I said, it's very reflective, and it makes sure that you stay on point. And then when it comes to time to, I guess, communicate effectively, because I worked in radio for 15 years, and it's like one thing I learned how to do was communicate effectively, be it to one person or to 1,000 people at any given time. And so if the message is not getting conveyed right, once again, I'm looking at myself. It's like I was a professional communicator. What's up with you? You know? And so I'm like, okay, maybe I didn't say it right. Maybe I need to readjust it this way. And because I know I can come across a little fiery and heated, I got a strong personality, and it just goes from like, it feels like it to the receiver, it goes from 0 to 10. But to me, it's like 0 to 3. It's like, you ain't heard me holler yet, you know? And so I have to dial all that stuff back, you know, in order to get that point off. And so typically what I do is I'll let the cold shoulder out, and I'll just get quiet until I can just calmly adjust my tone and my delivery until it can be received right. Because I don't necessarily think it's about as much of an action thing as much as it is a communication thing, an effective communication thing. You know, people, oh, I told you. It's like, yeah, but you had the funkiest attitude when you told me. I'm not listening to you. You know,
that goes to my point. Let me jump you in on this. How do you deal with people when they are poor communicators? And have you ever been in a relationship where you were with a poor communicator, and how do you deal with that?
One, I've been in a relationship with a poor communicator, and that was probably my fault for even taking it to
Were
that
you the poor
level.
communicator?
Am I? No, I'm
said,
actually,
were you at the time?
Probably trying to force somebody to communicate the way I communicate is poor communication. Because I do believe that, sometimes what we do is everybody doesn't communicate the same way, the nature.
Right.
And so a lot of times we'll try to force them to communicate the style we communicate or what we understand. And it's like he's speaking French and I'm speaking Spanish. We don't hear each other. And so a good thing that I've learned just in general in life is listening. Be a good listener, because you can read people, you can feel people, you can understand people if your mouth is closed and your ears are open. So yeah, I've dealt with people that were poor communicators, and a lot of times if they're not good communicators and this is something that doesn't sit well with you, or you see that this is going to be problems, those are the type of things, the red flags you're supposed to say, okay, I'm not going to be able to deal with that.
Right.
Let
long
me
term,
jump.
it's not going. Right.
Yeah, it's not going to, and that's okay. Like there's
Right.
a lot of reasons why relationships don't work out. Communication is a big one. Communication is the foundation of all relationships, whether it's with your lover or a friend.
Yeah.
Some people only communicate effectively through arguing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not here for the heated going back and forth. And I mean, some people, that's how they communicate. And
Right.
it's just like, if that's not your style, it's best you just go ahead and cut your losses and move on. But once again, Tierra, just a follow up, was he a poor communicator from the beginning? Did you ignore it?
I guess when things become, because I feel like everybody kind of has like a honeymoon phase. So the conversations you kind of always agree on or kind of all see eye to eye. And then when you bring more, challenging subjects and conversations up that you may not bring up on the first date, of course, then it's like, okay, yeah, we need to reevaluate what we're doing here, because we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. And I see that you are triggered and I get triggered. We're probably not a good match, and that's okay. Like I said, everybody's not going to communicate the same. It's just
going deeper to what you said. You don't realize a person can seem like a great communicator, but things change when people get emotional, when feelings get hurt, when people are jealous or angry and other things. So all the things that you thought you communicated on well, the real question is, how well do you communicate through your emotions, whatever those emotions
or
are.
challenging subjects? How well are you able to, be able to understand, interpret, receive information from people that you may not agree with the idea, or get where they're coming from, because everybody has different backgrounds.
That goes back to what I think you might have been saying, that either you or Nate, I can't remember, but being willing to be honest and true with yourself. Because if you self-assess and you're honest with yourself, by the time somebody else tells you, it's confirmation. It ain't no new news.
Yep.
News get new is when you've been lying to yourself all this time, so you don't recognize when somebody tell you the truth about yourself. But yeah, I got you. Okay, I'm gonna go to the cousin topic of this. A day ago, Nikki, I'm gonna ask you this. You tell me, but this is another statement. We're going in with statements.
All right.
One who loves the least controls the relationship.
I saw that. I think I posted it. Shit. The one who loves the least controls the relationship. I think that can be a super true statement, because oftentimes, and you also have to remember like where people are in these types of relationship dynamics, because I really do believe that the more healthy you are, the less you gravitate towards those types of dynamics. And that's just the truth of the matter. So a lot of us have a lot of cleaning up we still got to fucking do, right? But when you are in a situation with somebody who maybe loves less, we'll just put that in quotation, I think that they do generally run the dynamic of the relationship because the other person, typically the codependent person, is stuck with trying to find ways to make this work.
They're more, the one who loves the most is more invested in the relationship than the other.
The one who loves the least controls more because everything is based on their likes and dislikes, what they do and don't want to do, what they aren't willing to do, where they do and
Less
don't
compromise.
want to do in a relationship. So
Right.
you can't compromise with somebody who doesn't want to compromise. So they do run the relationship.
But it don't mean that they don't love you. They just don't love you as much as you love them.
And that's a normal and that happens, I think, in a lot of dynamics. But the question was, does that person oftentimes control the relationship? They do.
I agree. All right, Nate, I'm gonna get to you in just a second. Joe,
Okay.
Jump in. The one who loves the least controls the relationship.
Purple Rain. I think about, in my opinion, in that dynamic, in that situation, yes. I don't think it should be a rule. I don't think it should be a standard. But it's a gravity issue. You have people, it's like tug of war. You know what I'm saying? If people are tugging and that person, you're not gonna feel that one who's tugging the least. You're just pulling on your end. And if you're behind, if I'm pulling at the front and I'm the strongest one, you're behind me and I'm like, come on, we can do it. I'm like, yeah, you sure right we can. You barely tugging because you know I'm doing all the work, but you're still on the team with me. I don't notice because I'm thinking we both have the same goal in mind. So I don't think I have to look behind me to see if you're doing good. The reason I brought up Purple Rain is I think about Prince and Apollonia in the movie. You know what I'm saying? It's loosely based on his life and everything, but look at how the two of them were when they met. You know what I'm saying? She was so enamored by him. She was so in love with him. He was caught up in the fact that she liked him. You know what I'm saying? She was curious. He was shut in because of what he had been through. He had been triggered, all sorts of other stuff. And he didn't really do a whole lot to keep her. And whenever she did anything other than what he said, he caused problems. He was negative. He was toxic. And she still stayed. She still worked until he did too much. And even then, she was still connected to him.
Right. Okay.
You know?
Now let me.
And that's broad. That's a bit out there. That's me being a cinephile,
it
but
applies.
yeah.
I don't want us to have to take extremes. So, and I'm not saying that's not extreme, but I think it's easy to think that when we read this post that one person really loves the person and the other person just could care less. And it doesn't have to be that. It could be two people really love each other, but one is just more invested. But Nate, jump in. Let me know the one who loves the least controls the relationship. What do you think about that?
I don't agree. I think when it comes to love, I think two people just pretty much just love each other. I don't think there are levels to love. You know, if one loves less, then they probably just like the person. I think that's where the breakdown truly is. I mean, if you sat in our house all day and watched me and my wife cross paths, my wife could kiss me and hug me every time we cross paths. I'm like, gone, you know, and she knows that. And it does not mean that I love her any less. I'm just not as affectionate as she is, you know. And I think when it comes to love, I think it's an even playing field.
Yeah.
And I think if you can quantify how little or less or more or less somebody loves, then there's probably not love there. That's probably something a little, just maybe it might
somebody
just be
missing something
underneath love. But
right.
I don't feel like that's love. Like love is just an
okay. Real quick, Joe, jump in. I know you want to say something, then I'm coming.
I'm sorry.
I know what I agree, and I defer to him on that because my thing is like, you look at it like this. It's like, and it's the example I gave is by no means reflective of what I'm going to say, but it's to further what Nate's saying. It's like your 100% don't look like my 100%, but right. I know when you're giving 100%. I know when you're not there. You know, does that make any sense? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I know when you're not all the way there with me. I know when you're not all the way connected with me. I know when someone's not doing their best. This is just a fun time.
Sounds like he's breaking up.
Okay, you breaking up a little bit, Joe. I didn't know if that was just me or if that was everyone.
Okay.
So
I still can't. Just hold on a second, Joe, because I can't hear you. It's like
feel-
going in and out. Let me see if I can get your connection back right first. Let me jump to Denise real quick, and then
You know what I'm saying? So me wanting to hug she like, yeah.
Joe, hold on a second. You robotic right now. We can't hear you. Just hold on a second, because you going in and out. Oh shoot, where he went. All right.
I'm still here.
Okay, that might even be work. Say something now, Joe.
Can you hear me now? Is this better?
Okay, that might be a little bit better.
Yeah, taking out the video will cut down on the bandwidth for me. So my thing is, long story short, I defer to Nate because, like in that example he just gave, which is far removed from the previous one, Nate is still 100% in with his wife. She's 100% in with him. Their 100s just look different. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's easy to confuse that. Yep. It's easy to confuse that with someone that's compromising too much in with someone who's not doing enough. It's easy to confuse if you're not honest with yourself, if you don't know your own worth, and you are not paying attention. You know what I'm saying? If you don't love you, if I don't love me, I can't teach you how to love me. Mm-hmm. And I won't know if you are. I'll just be happy for the fact that you're next to me.
So this, and what you said sparked something that I thought. And let me ask Denise this. I'm gonna keep moving around with the next question. Denise, if you can make the statement that you love your partner more than your partner loves you, the fact that it's something that's noticeable in your eyes, does that mean that your relationship is pretty much headed for doom? The fact that you even can acknowledge, or that you see that it's not on the same level.
I think like it's a few things. One, kind of to what Nate is saying, I don't think you can quantify. I think it was Nate that said it. You can't really quantify love. Either like, I feel like either you love someone or you don't. And you can love someone and not be invested in wanting to have a relationship with them. And I think it's important to note that there are plenty of people, I've personally experienced this, where a person truly loves you, but they just are not, either they don't want to be in a relationship or they're not capable of even being in a relationship because there's work that they need to do. It's less of a, oh, they don't love me enough to do right by me. They don't love me enough to know. They probably love you a whole hell of a lot, but they may not love themselves in the way they need to.
I got you. Let me rephrase again. Even in Tier, let me jump to you. Even piggybacking off of what Denise and Joe said, even if they do love you, if you don't feel that they love you in the same type of way, you're destined. And that doesn't even have to be them. That could be something going on with you. But even if you feel that there's an imbalance in how you love each other, your relationship is destined for failure. What do you think about that?
I don't think it's destined for failure. I think it's just you guys going to have a conversation about how you want to be loved and how, because again, I've dated someone, I'm affectionate. And just like Nate was saying that his wife was more of a touchy, and it depends on the guy too. Sometimes I'm not as touchy feely.
Depending on the guy, you're not touchy feely.
Yeah, in the past, some people bring it out of me, and some people, I'm more of a goofy.
Hold on. Is it the way that they touch you, or is it the genuineness in how they do it that makes you
kind of organic? I don't have a rule book on it. Like it's more organic, but it's like the vibe you get from people. But I like I said, I listen to love languages when I see it, and long as there's a conversation about it, like if I'm touchy feely, I had one guy that was like, okay, I'm not into the public affection,
right?
And some people are, because they're more shy, they're more reserved, they don't do that in public. They may hold hands, but they may not like as being kissing in public, right. So I don't think that they love you any less. It's just maybe that's just their nature or what they're comfortable with, or uncomfortable with. So you just have to understand somebody's love language.
Well, Nikki, let me go to you with this. And because I hear what Tierra's saying, and this is, for me, this is one of my pet peeves, is that just because, and I think this is where, for me, this is where love comes from. just because the touchy-feely is not my love language, if I know it's your love language, then I want to do it because I know that's something that makes you feel good. So even if I'm not is it gonna kill me to hold hands in public, even if I could care less? But the fact that you like it and you think the world of it and you want to, hell yeah, I'm gonna do it. Because my goal is not you understanding my love language, or I want you to be happy and I want you to feel like I'm you know, I want to be your Superman in all type of ways. And that's where I get my satisfaction. That was a loaded question, Nikki. I'm sorry.
Like they
But
say,
what do you,
if you like it, I love it.
what do you feel about that, Nikki?
I feel like personally that's the way it's supposed to go. You know, I feel like, you know, we are all imperfect humans. We all come to another adult whenever we come to an adult. So we're going to come with a load of baggage and dysfunction and amazing tricks. I think that when you genuinely are emotionally, physically, spiritually interested, engaged, curious, desire somebody, your moves are going to follow that authentically. That doesn't mean that you know to do all the right things, and it doesn't mean that you already came with all of the tools equipped for the job, but your genuine desire to want to be with this person or be happy with this person or have reciprocity of happiness with this person is going to say, tell me what your language is so I can speak that shit.
Right.
And that's not a, oh, I'm doing it for you to shut you up kind of situation,
Right.
or make you happy. That's a, damn, this makes me feel good to see you smile.
Right.
You know, and
Right.
but you know, it goes back to the vulnerability and safety aspect too. And a lot of people are just not there. And a lot of people don't know what they like. Sometimes we only know what we don't like, you know, and that's a good place to start too. But that conversation has to happen. And if you feel like you're obligated always doing something for your partner, that's going to get picked up on. That energy is received, and I don't want you doing nothing for me that's not genuine in your heart. That's going to be like, damn, she's finna smile. I can't wait to see this.
I like that answer. Okay, hold on. Okay, so we got 15 minutes left.
That's a good feeling.
It is. It really is.
It's a damn good feeling.
All right, we got 15 minutes left. I want to touch this subject because I just think it was interesting when I heard it. Okay. Red pill, blue pill. Did you see this on the post?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You get to pick one. Red pill, option 1. You restart your life at age 10 with all the knowledge you have now. Blue pill, option number 2. You jump to 45 years old with 50 million in the bank. Which one are you choosing? And hold on, let me back up real quick, because at first I thought that this was a simple answer. But think about this, and I want you to consider this. You go back to 10 years old, you lose all your relationships, you lose the children that the children that you have, the people, the situation that you're in right now, all of your friends that you've grown from that age as an adult, they go away. And there's no guarantee you're gonna have that same relationship again. So you will lose a lot going back to age 10, but you'll have all of that knowledge. You go to 45, for some of us, it's not too far away.
Man, that's 3 more birthdays. Give me that 50 milli.
Okay, all right. So jump in. You going blue pill, Nikki?
I mean, you know, when
you still gonna lose 3 years though with your children. How old are your kids gonna be 3 years from now?
Shit, look, I done had a lot of things happen in 3 years. We'll be all right in 3. I'm gonna get this money. I'm gonna make up for these last 3, baby. We finna fuck up.
So we'll make up for it.
3.
Somebody else jump in. Red pill, blue pill.
I got a little question about the 10-year-old. Do you go back to the year when you were 10?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
Like, do we go back to 1990?
Yes.
Like, what's coming?
Since you asked me, it didn't specify, but in my mind, yes, you go back. We going back to 1990. I'm taking
10 years old all day. Youth and
it's like all the basketball years. You all over again. Tiara, what you thinking?
I'm going with Nikki on this. I can go back to 10 years old with all my knowledge, but I might not make it to 15 or 20
Baby.
or 30 to
Okay.
use it. I'm
Okay.
guaranteed to make it to 45 with 50. I'm not guaranteed to be able. You know, I could be 10 years old and then bam, I get cancer or something. I'm able to use that knowledge.
Okay. 45 real close. I mean, a lot can happen, but maybe I'm closer.
It's guaranteed money. I can do a lot with 50 million. Thoughts
Okay.
and ideas, that can go any way. I mean, I know we all know a lot of great things. You know, we got great wisdom, but that don't mean it's always gonna pan out to 50 million.
But you got to think at 10, you before the internet, though, man.
Oh yeah, oh no, you're gonna make way more than 50 million. To have the same knowledge.
I can flip
50 million to be a drop in
I
the
can flip my 50.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm too. Look, I
got
got
okay.
But think about it. Think about it. I got the, if I got the wisdom I got now, and I get 50 million, imagine how fast I can flip that.
honey.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, Joe. Jump in, Joe. Jump in, Joe. What you say, Joe?
Number one, I'm 46. I get a bonus year and I get 50 million. Case closed, baby. Case closed, baby. And yeah, don't get me wrong. The 10 years old is cool, but you give me $50 million and then take me back to 45, and I'm 45, baby. If I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna show out.
Okay, hold on.
If I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna show out, baby. You finna know. You finna know he was here. Is what you finna know.
Let me go back real quick because I think for some of us it's an easier answer because a lot of us are closer to 45 than others. Denise, you are a little bit further away than that. So if you jump to 45, you'd be missing out on a significant amount of time.
Yes, I'd be missing out on like 12 years. So it's like I started doing the math. I'm like, I have young nieces and nephews, and I'm like, one of my nieces would have already graduated college. The other one would be on her way to graduating college. My nephews would be teenagers. It would just be like, I would not want to miss that much time from them or my family. I just wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't mind going back to whenever I was 10 and reliving some of this shit. But then it's like, back when you're 10, it's like you got to relive like all your losses again. And that's like a mind.
No, you can change. You don't have to go through. Oh, well, certain like if
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like if you're grieving, that's like a mind. Like,
but you may also learn how to maximize that time when you know there's a certain date coming to the end of grandparents and other people's like that.
I don't want to do that.
You may.
How does one live fully if they know the day that you're gonna lose somebody you love? How you God
dang, that's tough.
It's too much.
And not only that, see, now you know what I thought, Denise. So I've been going back and forth because to go back when it's like that's an opportunity that it's hard to pass up because nobody would ever have that opportunity to relive that life over again. But the hardest thing for me is also what makes it the most special also makes it the harder, because with all the knowledge that you have, the memory of my children is not going to disappear. My children will disappear, but the memory of them will not disappear. And how do I continue to, that would be a hard pill for me to swallow, them not actually existing anymore. And I don't know, as much as I would want to, I don't think that I could do it as much as I would want to.
I think if you had to choose one, you'd have to like really just take one and move. Because if you think about it, you'll just, and see, my first instinct is childhood. I love a simpler time. I still love like my cartoons. I got Boomerang and, I love Disney. I mean, going to Lincoln Park playing back, like I went right to my childhood.
Oh man, you making me change my mind again.
Times. It was simple. We had nothing to worry about, none of this mess going on.
Oh, I think I'm gonna change my mind again, man.
And that's immediately where I went. I went to the simplicity of my childhood. I'm like, oh yeah, give me that
so rich.
Day.
See, that's a huge deciding factor because here's the thing is, I
immediately where my mind went when I saw 10 years old. I'm like, what?
Right.
Yes. Like money, whatever. We'll figure.
I mean, we say that now. We say we wish we were kids again, and we tell our kids this: like, enjoy your youth because once it's gone, it's gone. I mean, we all say that, but I'm still choosing a 45, 50 million.
This is the prime example of wanting to have your cake and eat it too. So if I could do all these things and still guarantee the certain things in my life at this age, I can still recapture it and get it back, then I'm like, yeah, I'm going back to 10. But to lose it, you know, the love of my lives and all that stuff like that. And then my sister even put a post on there. Now you trying to convince somebody that we supposed to be together. Now you just look like a stalker because they don't see, you didn't try to approach them the wrong type of way.
To be together.
Like your guy with the post office.
Yes, now that's it.
When we were teens.
What I tell you, what I tell you, what I tell you.
In another life, we was together and we was in love.
Hold up.
Thing, notebook.
Hold on. I said, what in the notebook is going on? And that's gonna be a thing for me.
Oh,
whenever
man.
I see people in that stupid phase, because we all I think what it is that we all love that stupid phase when we first get with each other, right? Be like, babe, you want this last, like Kevin Hart said, babe, you want this last thing? You want this last thing? No, you said the same thing. No, I said the same thing. They all say the same thing. And then next thing you know, you really what it is that you, when you get older with maturity, you realize you want to get to that point to where y'all are solid. Because you can go back to stupid. Because when you're solid, you can go back to stupid and have fun. But when you're solid, you rock solid. Like one of my favorites. Like one thing I say all the time is that love is in fact that gang. We stay affiliated no matter what happens. I may not like you, but I like that meme that floated around a while back where if you hear a man say that's my old lady, he'll kill you over that woman. I mean, they are bonded on that level, not in a toxic sense, but they're bonded on that level to where they know each other. And you can't, like, if I'm having trouble with my woman and people see that, be like, man, you know, that chick is stupid. She drove you crazy. What? Shut your damn mouth, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Well, she just drove you crazy. It don't matter what she did. You don't talk about my woman like that. You don't talk about my partner like that. You don't disrespect my partner. It don't matter if I do or don't like her that day. I'm going to be there for her. I'm going to be there with her. Even if we don't talk, at least I get to sit there quiet next to her. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of level you want. But that stupid phase, I think a lot of times with that romanticizing, we all have this idea that it's going to be that way forever. Like, has anybody seen that movie, 500 Days of Summer?
Hate that movie. That's
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Let me tell you. Joseph Gordon-Levitt went on record. He went on record to say that a lot of people had the movie confused. He went on record and said none of y'all were paying attention.
She said in the beginning, or he said, this is not a love story.
Yeah, he said in the beginning.
I didn't want to believe it though.
I think the character, I forgot what the character's name, but he said so-and-so was in fact the bad guy. Summer never wanted any of the things he wanted. She hung out with him. She spent time with him. She explained to him what it was, but he wanted what he wanted way before Summer walked into the picture.
You went out again.
Hold on.
I might have lost you, Joe. You might have faded out again.
I heard Joe.
All right,
Summer
we got
wanted-
3 minutes left. He come back. All right, so quick side. This is a quick side question.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Because it's saying that my internet is unstable.
We can hear you.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
Okay, so let me go quick side. And it wasn't that the movie was bad, Joe. It was just that I was going through something at the time and it reminded me of stuff.
Yeah. I've known that life.
I was at the point where I wanted a love story and it just wasn't there. And I was like, man, this is
like
terrible.
I'm like,
right.
It was an emotional attachment to it. All right, super quick. I'm going on the lines of what if again. And I don't even know if y'all think about this. I do Neil deGrasse Tyson, Star Talk, all that stuff. I don't know if y'all watch that. If you could travel all through the universe, see all of the other people, species, cultures, everything, but you couldn't come back. You couldn't come back to Earth. Would you take that deal?
Can I take everybody with me?
Ooh, oh shoot! One
That's a
person, you can
curveball.
take one person.
Nope, you should have left it. You just
Right,
Okay, yeah, you're right.
No,
You're right.
that's-
I can see it. No. You're right. You're right. All right,
That's
nope.
too easy.
Nope, you got to go by yourself, Tia. You're right. You got to go by yourself.
I'm not going. I'm not going. And let me tell you why. Like, there's so much beauty around us on the daily that we don't even recognize. There's so many different places that you go. Like, no matter where I go, because I grew up in Louisiana, if I'm in another state, I will compare every city to another city in Louisiana. I'll be like, oh, this is the Baton Rouge of New York. This is the New Orleans. I mean, like, we're all really similar in a lot of ways. Not to say that there's not a lot to learn, but it's like, why would I leave behind what I can learn and then be able to share it, just to go somewhere and have all this knowledge and then share it with myself.
It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Nobody would ever have this opportunity. There's nobody on this earth that will ever discover all of the lands and the different opportunities. Say you don't need it, Nikki.
I don't need it.
Here, bye-bye.
I'm gone. I'm Elon
Everybody's
Musk.
saying.
I'm up there. I'm up
You
there.
said you going, Tier?
I'm going.
Joe, you going or you staying?
Avengers, I ain't going nowhere.
I'm adventurous. I'm gonna go.
No, and I gotta go by myself, man. I do everything by myself. If I can't take somebody with me, goddamn it, I ain't doing it. No, I'm gonna stay over here.
Yeah, I'm staying.
Okay, now all right. So since Tierra and I'm undecided, but I think I would have to take it. I don't. If you got to take one person with you, then what?
But I'm still stuck on if I explore the world. What if I find some new life out there?
You don't think you will?
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, I might not be alone.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. But it's not even about being alone, because my bet is you're not going to be alone. You're going to have so many relationships and people that you meet, assuming they don't kill you. But that's not a part of the thing. But it's not that. It's just the people that you know and you currently have a connection with. Now you lose that connection.
Right.
No. That hurts because I love my child. So
yeah.
No,
I don't leave my family for nothing.
Yeah, I'm staying put. This is what got me through. This will be where I'm at.
For those of you who haven't heard me rant about it at any given moment, I am a huge Doctor Who fan. And even though I love the idea of the show, this is a character that comes in, saves the day, and then goes on to wherever he's going to go on to. He or she may have a companion from time to time, but that person is gone. That the character themselves is centuries years old. So you spend your life going and going and going. You may pass through galaxies at a time without ever meeting anybody. Or you may meet somebody and then next thing you know, you like them. Or what if you're in the Alpha Centauri galaxy or somewhere, and you meet Beebleflots and you and Beebleflots hit it off. Man, Beebleflots is the licks. I like spending time with you, but there's still these other galaxies and universes, and this being you just met has to stay there.
Next lifetime. I see you next lifetime.
My jam too.
So Tiara is officially a G. Let's just get that out the way. Nothing stop the show.
All right,
nothing stop the show as far as Tiara is concerned. I'm just saying.
All right. Okay. So I think I asked this question again. I don't know if I asked it on here before. Last question. We're about to get off here because it's 10:30. Next IG versus battle, if you could make it up right now, who would you want to see?
Dead or alive?
Who?
Yes. Who's that?
I want to see the Chris Brown Usher.
Chris Brown Usher.
Yeah, I want to see it.
That would be good.
They don't want to do it, but I would love to see it.
I would like to see a produce. I don't know. Did they do it?
Swiss Beats and Just Blaze did it before. That was fire.
I would like to see Pharrell and Timberland.
That'll be good. That'll be fire.
Yep. 2 Virginia producers.
Can we have the
who wins?
Sean Carter and Beyonce versus? That would never happen. But I want them to go against each other.
Pharrell would win.
On the run.
On
the run tour.
All right,
Pharrell got more longevity because Pharrell's still putting out hits right now, and then I think Pharrell would pretty much take it.
You might be right on that.
But
it'd be tough.
I think it really depends on how Timberland positioned his song.
Because he made some hits with Aaliyah. You can't.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
Aaliyah, Jay-Z, Petey Pablo, UG.
So I was like, you got to position him perfectly.
Missy Elliott, yeah.
He got to position him perfectly, and then like Pharrell got his own albums out, and like Timberland.
Yeah,
you don't remember Timberland's albums as much.
Timberland did some stuff.
Magoo could keep on. He could stay going. All right, y'all. It's 10:32, so we're gonna close out. Anybody have any last words, last statements, anything that we need to be aware about? Remember, Tierra Talks on Thursday, Superfly show. I love it. I enjoy it. Anybody else? Denise, did you put any of your stuff on live?
I didn't. Supposedly there's some like really good footage that they're gonna be putting together, so I'll put that up. But I have an idea. I've been feeling encouraged since I've been coming to the group or whatever. And since I've been coming to the group, I'm like, you know what? I was thinking about doing like some live, like doing a live show once a week, where I'll do like a song or two and then talk about a subject for maybe like 15 minutes or something like that. So that's coming soon.
Nice.
But I do want to say this, with all the questions, like especially these last few questions that we asked, I think we kind of all see like where our hearts are, like is with our families essentially. And even when we're like given a buttload of money or this or that, it's like we still cherish the people that we love more than anything. So I think that's very telling. And it is like gives me a lot to be grateful for and thankful for, because no matter what, that's where I want to be, you know, with my people that I love.
What's up? That's a great assessment. Joe B, where can they find your material at, man? Are you all over YouTube?
I am on YouTube. If you just do a search for Element 615, that's my old stage name. Just Element and then the number 615. You'll find my work there. I'm on SoundCloud as well. If you look that up, if you look up Element 615 on either YouTube or SoundCloud, you'll definitely find me. My book is on Amazon. If you look up Element 615 on Amazon, you'll find it there. And my t-shirt site is still up and running, 615.com, SIXFIVONE.com. And from now until I decide otherwise, it's 15% off if you buy 2 shirts or more.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And I said it before. I say it again. Joe B is one of the greatest poets I've ever heard. You know what I would be interested in? His poetry, after we all gone, there's gonna be people. He may be more popular after we're all gone later on when people get a hold of his stuff. I mean, he's one of the greatest poets I've ever heard. You have to listen to him, and it's absolutely unbelievable. I can't even describe it, but if you even hear the way he flows right now, you can get an idea of it.
Joe, are you from Nashville?
You know what? I get that a lot. And when I was traveling, when I was going through, when I was up near Nashville, there were people that heard me and wanted me to move there just because they thought that's what it meant. But 615 is really my birthday.
Okay, perfect. I live in Memphis, and we don't like people from Nashville.
Look, I saw the commitment.
You have to get that clear.
That was more than petty. That was affirmed. That was affirmed shade. That was.
We don't play here. Like people like, where are you from? Memphis? Oh, Tennessee? No, Memphis.
Memphis.
That's hilarious.
Like,
that's hilarious.
Got Tennessee, and then you have Memphis, and it's just like, yeah, we don't claim anything east of us. Like, then that's the whole state.
Right. I am.
Nate, y'all got anything going on? No. You fine. Y'all can talk all y'all want to. I keep feeling guilty when I keep you past longer than when I say I do, and then I keep apologizing. I get tired of apologizing because I'm 20 minutes past, and it's my fault. You got anything going on right now we should know about?
No, same old. Just working on the kitchen, trying to get this food out. Working on hopefully trying to do some virtual cooking classes and some meal prep now. I've had so many people who have been like, would you please feed me every day? And I'm like,
I wish I lived by you, Nikki.
Where are you at?
I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, well, I can come to you.
Yeah, her food looks amazing, by the way. I just sorry to interrupt, but it does.
Well, and, my whole thing is really trying to put something out for healthy eaters. People think that vegan and vegetarian diet is we eat cardboard and goddamn sticks, and that's not the case. So just trying to show people who want to vibe a little bit differently. So I've had like literally 5 people in the last week who have asked me if I do meal prep, and I'm like, shit, I meal prep every day. I just don't do it for other people. So absolutely. So I don't know. I'm trying to do something in this kitchen. That's about all I got right now.
That's what's up. Nate, what's up? What we got going on?
Oh man, just living this old married life over here. You know me. No. I got a 17-year-old on the verge of about to lose it because she think her whole senior year about to get rained on with this pandemic.
Yeah.
Got a 11-month-old that's happy to walk, you know. So but no, business. On the business side, I still, have the website up, alwaysremainpositive.com, which I do a blog, podcast, working on getting general contractor's license and, just pushing forward, man, keeping it simple. So,
that's what's up. Well, I appreciate everybody for coming on. Make sure you keep sending your posts, your ideas, your thoughts. That's what I mean. I love it. I don't really come up with thoughts. So, and then on top of that, anything that you're doing, feel free, number one, to share this page. I'm just bigging up this page. And it's not even for the sake of the page. Me and Nikki, we threw the page together just as a side note to us meeting, locally that we used to meet. But now since we are meeting online, now we want to build up the page, not even just for ourselves, but just for everyone. So feel free, like even with Tierra Talks, I post that on there. Real Talk with Roy you're welcome. Real Talk with Roy Bright. He got some interesting conversations on there. I post that. Black Tea Talk comes on every day. So it's all about just finding, getting people in like-minded in the same space and opportunity. So do that, and then anything that you have, just feel free to post it on the page. And that's what's up. So that's it. That's all I got. I was only 9 minutes behind this time, but check us out next week, and we'll see you then. Tierra Talks Thursday. Check that out as well.
Peace.
Thank you.
Black Lives Matter. Don't forget, goddamn.
That's a whole nother conversation. We'll talk about that later, Nikki. God damn.
Bye.
Y'all take care
now. Yeah.